This is a Vantage Point with Pastor Henry podcast. This is a Vantage Point with Pastor Henry podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Vantage Point with Pastor Henry. It is educative, informative, entertaining, enlightening, edifying, and spiritually uplifting. Sit tight and put on your seatbelt and get ready to be blown away.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are coming to us, watching us from. This is Henry Waneri, and this is Vantage Point with Henry. We always say, sit tight, fasten your seatbelt. You're going to get blown away because we bring you information that makes you say, wow. And you can't say wow without a seatbelt. And that is exactly true today, because you won't be able to sit down and say the wows you're about to say, because I've got someone who is amazing, who is altogether good in every which way. She smiles like an angel. Yeah, I'm joking. But I've got Sue Reid again today, and a lot of you have sent emails asking questions about when these episodes are going to be put on. And I'll just say again, sit tight, put on your seatbelt, and get ready to be blown away, because we're going to splice them and answer your questions and put them up. And I hope they bless you as much as I've enjoyed making them. I'm not going to stay any longer, because I know you're not here waiting to see my handsome face. No, yeah, you're waiting to see Sue's face. And so without much ado, as I always say, let's welcome Sue Reid all the way from UK. And we keep asking her, how do we greet like a UK queen? Or no, let's not say queen before she thinks we're making her the queen and SSS will be knocking on her doors. How do we greet like a royalty in UK? And she said, just say good morning. Isn't that funny? Just say good morning. How about we say good morning, me lady, or something like that with a bow? She said, yeah, you can bow. And so we bowed. But that's you for you. That's you for you. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, me lady. See, I bowed. How are you doing?
Good morning, Henry. I'm good, thank you. And there's no need to bow. Just hi, Sue.
No. We'll bow. We're gentlemen here. We're gentlemen. We have fun being, so bowing is natural to us. Bowing is natural to us.
Okay.
How is UK this morning?
Very well in Devon. It is really, really wet. Very wet.
Really wet.
And
Wow.
windy. Yeah.
Is that? Oh yeah, season. Is that the season for it?
Well, we've just gone into spring, so we should have sunshine. but we haven't.
Okay.
Apparently
Okay.
the next 3 days are going to rain and then the sun will be back.
Ooh, has rain got anything to do with shyness?
Well, probably, yeah, because if you're shy, I guess you tend to be more in the cloud.
Isn't that a good answer? What about the fact that sometimes uh, rain hinders movement, hinders sunlight, so people tend to just stay indoors or stay reclusive, during the rain.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess if you're shy, that's probably a good thing because it gives you an excuse not to
Excuse not
get out
to.
there and meet people.
Yeah, yeah. Have you seen any science or statistics with regards to shyness and seasons? Just like there's some numbers out there with regards to depression and seasons.
Yeah, I doubt whether it would affect shyness. I think shyness is a thing that's, with you all the time, whereas the seasonal affective disorder, the depression, tends to come and go with the seasons. So people tend to get happier in the summer and they switch off in the winter.
So, is there any way you can say anything about that? Seasonal depressions, or is there anything you can say about that?
Well, it's not really my area of expertise, but I don't think it's really got anything to do with shyness. But if you've got seasonal affective disorder, as far as I'm aware, when you get like the cold, dark winter nights, you tend to feel less happy. I mean, my sister tells me that she's affected by it. I think, I don't know, I think a lot of it is, it's kind of your perception. So if you're affected by depression, if you're affected by any kind of low self-esteem, then when the sun's not shining, you're probably going to feel worse because you haven't got the sun shining on you. I think the thing to remember is the sun's always there. It's there. It might be behind a cloud, but it's still shining somewhere.
You just took the words out of my mouth. So, what else would you say to somebody who is easily depressed or shy, in certain seasons?
Yeah, so again, I don't think it's so much shy, but if they're depressed in certain seasons, well, I would say, well, the sun will be back. We do go through cycles, so summer will come again. But the thing is always to think, look on the bright side of life. Always think of the good things in life. You'll always find something good. If you look out the window and it's snowing, for example, snow's beautiful. I mean, it might not be beautiful if you're having to be outside in the cold, but when you're looking at it, when you look at a snowflake, that's one of the most miracle, beautiful things you can think of, really, I think. So just always try to find something to focus on about life that's good, and you will find plenty.
I am not forgetting that Sue is an author and a coach, and she is the author of a book. Would you tell us about your book, the title, and if you have a copy there, let's see it.
Yeah, so the book is called Building Confidence, with, oh, there you go, with Sue Reid. So how to thrive as a shy person. So it's hints and tips of how to build your confidence. So not necessarily just for shy people, but for anybody that suffers from a low level of confidence and wants to build it up a little bit more. It's also got bits about my life in it. So what happened to me, how I became shy, how I lost my confidence, what I did about it, which is the main point, that you can pull yourself out of it if you want to. It's like any skill. If you want to learn it and you're willing to put in the work and practice, then you will get there.
Beautiful, beautiful. Did your book, or do you have anything about shyness and anger in your book?
Not so much in my book, because I've never suffered from anger. I mean, obviously everybody gets angry at some points in their life, but it's never been something I've been affected by. And you would think being shy, a shy person, you think of them as placid, quiet, unassuming, would never hurt anybody. But I did read an article that was saying, and I didn't go into great depth about it, but it was saying that actually when they surveyed shy people, they did find a level of aggressiveness. And apparently shy people are prone to being aggressive. It's not the case that they're always placid. And in the article, they were putting that down to the way you're brought up, and particularly if you've had trauma as a child, and particularly if you were bullied as a child. So if you suffered from peer victimization at school, so what we know as bullying, then you were more prone to be aggressive later in life. I guess because you put this protective shield around yourself, you put your armor on to protect yourself. And as you get older, if somebody angers you in some way or somebody upsets you, then that triggers that aggressiveness in you that's been bottled up. But I also think that when you're shy, you tend to be more sensitive. You do tend to, rather than speak out at the time, like rather than say, I'm sorry, but what you said upset me. I think you tend to bottle it inside, and then you get that straw that broke the camel's back effect, where one little tiny thing and then you just lose it, and apparently for no reason, but it's not. It's all that pressure inside you that's just overflown. So that's the way I would look at it. So yeah, you can be shy and angry and aggressive at the same time.
Wow. So I want to go to a specific area, let's say with children, for instance. Once we notice that they are having shyness issues, I was reading up on something. Maybe I should ask you, what are the signs a parent can see in their child that will tell them there's a shyness problem in the child that they should take care of?
Yeah, so I guess when they're very young, it's that neediness, wanting to cling to particularly mother a lot. So not wanting to leave your mother's side. When you get to school, it will be quite obvious a shy child because they won't interact as much as a less shy child. So they might not want to join in with the other kids. They might stand on the sidelines. They want to join in. It's not that they don't want to, but they don't feel that they're going to be accepted. They're worried about being rejected. They're worried about being judged. And the problem is that makes them stand out, which is why they can then get bullied at times. So I think as a parent, you would be looking for a child that doesn't really interact with other children, a child that maybe would like to sit on their own more than joining in, and doesn't say very much. So, you ask them a question and they don't really answer. You can see they're holding things in. You ask them what's wrong, they don't tell you. They don't make eye contact very well. And particularly as you grow up, shy people tend not to make eye contact. They tend to look down.
So I was looking at same paper I was looking at, and they did say that there are strangely some very positive things that are associated with shyness, in children, and they listed out a few of those. And I wanted you to comment about these. They were saying things like, um, shy behavior is associated with a number of positive behaviors, including things like doing well at school. Some shy people do get very good grades, behaving and not getting into trouble, listening attentively to others, and being easy to maintain or look after. What do you have to say about those? Is that true? What do you think?
Yeah, I would say so, because if you think of how a shy presents itself, you're not going to be one of those children that runs around making havoc, playing up with your mates and being noisy and wanting to be the center of attention. you're more likely to want to just get on with what you've been given to do, so that you're not going to be, you wouldn't want to be told off for not doing your work. So therefore you're more likely to get on and do it. And if you're getting on and doing it and being more focused, then you're going to get better marks. So it's kind of I don't think it's so much that, okay, you're a shy person, therefore you do better at school. I think it's more a case of you're a shy person, so you tend to get on with your work a bit more, and you're more studious.
Great. So with children, I still want to stay here a little bit. So with children, then, how do you manage the fact that they're doing well in certain areas of their life, and manage that alongside the fact that there's a shyness problem to deal with? Because in another paper I've read, I found out that sometimes parents um, kind of accept or look at the positive things that are coming out of their child, and overlook the shyness thing, and that most times would not all go well, because deep inside, most times the child wants to break out. What do you say about that? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does, totally. And it's totally how I was. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be accepted. I just didn't know how to do that. So I think as a parent, to help your child, the worst thing you can do is what my dad did, and kept telling me that I need to come out of my shell. I need to be more, really making a point of telling you that you've got a problem. And that child, that's one of the worst things you can do. I think it's helping your child to interact. So when they are invited to a birthday party, make sure they go. Make sure that you are not too far away, but you're not letting them cling on to you. Try and encourage them to join in. And if you've got, maybe somebody else at the party who's got a child who's a little bit more outgoing, you could kind of try and get the other parent to get their child to involve your child, so they've got like that connection already, somebody they already know. Because it's very difficult if you go to a birthday party and you don't really know anybody, and you feel like you're standing out. The worst thing, of course, for a child is when everybody in the class has been invited to a party and you're not, because you're the quiet, shy one, and they just basically forget about you.
There was something you said in the first episode. You talked about how shyness can begin, and you mentioned something about genetics. Can you talk a little bit about that, and help somebody understand what is the uniqueness of dealing with your shyness? How do you deal with your unique shyness if it is a genetic thing, compared to if it is a learned behavior as a result of maybe how people have treated you in school, maybe peer pressure or peer influence? Does that make any difference?
I think so. I mean, I'm not sure, but I would probably say that where it's genetic, where you're born with it, if there's no other factors, so if like you're born shy, but your parents don't, make a big thing of it, and don't maybe, or you don't go through any other traumas that make you feel worse, if you're just shy, but you're a happy, shy child, then I don't really think that would be such a problem. I think you'd probably, if you feel settled in yourself, I think you'd probably be happy to be shy. You still won't feel very confident talking to people you don't know, or in situations you don't know, but you would either find ways to get around it. So you'd either go to a social gathering, but you maybe wouldn't stay very long, or you'd go with a friend and stick with your friend, or you'd happily stand at the side and just listen in to what other people are saying, without thinking, oh my God, they're all looking at me and thinking, why am I standing here, or why am I on my own?
Mm.
I think, yeah, if it's genetic, but there's no other factors, then you can probably live quite happily as a shy person, and it will never bother you.
Wow. What do you say about the association of shyness with failure? The fear of failure, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, the fear of failure. I mean, the fear of failure affects people whether they're shy or not. But when you are shy, you are constantly, you overthink it. You don't do things because you think, well, if I fail, people are going to judge me. So you don't even try, and then obviously you miss out on a lot of different things.
But harkening back to the episode we just did, um, how do you reconcile um, the fear of failure in shyness? How do you reconcile that to the shy genius? You know, if 60 to 70%, which is the number I have seen of geniuses are shy,
Mm.
how do you reconcile the fact that we say um, that shy people have fear of failure?
I would say that they found a way past it. So they're shy, but they've pushed on. So if you're a shy person, you find it more difficult to do something where you may fail than somebody with more confidence. But that doesn't necessarily mean you don't do it. It's where you let it stop you that I mean, you've already failed then, haven't you? Because you haven't even started. So as long as you don't let your shyness stop you, so you think, yes, I might fail and it might be awful, but do you know what? I'm going to do it anyway.
Hmm.
And that would be a struggle. I mean, look what I've done, all the things I've done as a shy person. And it is a struggle, and you do have to push yourself, but you just keep telling yourself that you're right, that you can do it.
I remember this movie I'd seen. I'm trying to remember what the name of the movie was. And there was a group of boys who had been given, in a very small community, they had been given a science project. And so all the other kids banded together and they were working on something. And but the shy boy could not join everybody. And I'm trying to remember what movie that was, but I remember it vividly. And the shy boy could not join them, but in his room he was working on something, and then on the day of the exhibition he came out with something major. It just wowed everybody. And piecing all that together now with what you're saying, it does look like, because the other guys, they faced some failure, some opposition and stuff like that, but this shy boy was inside his father's garage, and kept on walking. And every time he failed, there was nobody to laugh at him because he was alone, because he was shy, and so he would go back and try it again. And then so when he brought it out to the community, everybody was like, wow, the press was on him and all of that, and everybody was asking him, when did you do it? He said, well, he's got all the time in his world, because nobody was talking to him and stuff like that. So that kind of agrees with what you're saying, and that's so powerful. I wanted to ask you, on that note, um, how would you talk to someone shy when you consider the fact that 60 to 70% of them um, can turn out to be a genius? How would you tell? Why don't you tell the person, hey, look, just enjoy your shyness, hold on to it, it's gonna you can be great. Why don't you do that then?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because I mean, I never knew that fact actually until you said last time about the 60 to 70% of geniuses being shy. And I wonder, on that note, whether maybe the survey is muddling up shyness with introversion. So they may be introverts, which would make them work on their own. So yeah, so how would you speak to somebody? Well, I guess I would say, well, I wouldn't worry about being shy, because the likelihood is you're a genius. And sooner or later, you're going to come out with this amazing new project.
Yeah, but just on the sincere note, like, as a coach, what would you, because a lot of I don't know that. I'm not a coach, but I don't know that. Is it possible for when people come to you, you first of all alert them to how great their social issue might be before you tell them, okay, now let's try and get rid of it?
Yeah. So I always start. So when I do my coaching, I always start, whatever you come to me for coaching for. I mean, I deal with confidence, but that covers so many areas. So for example, you might come to me and say, I need to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight and it's affecting my life. So I might help you with that. So I always start with point A and point B. So point A is where you are now. So in the case of somebody coming to me and saying, right, I'm really shy and I want to get out of it, I want more confidence, I would say, well, what areas are you shy in? What particularly is affecting you? When you feel shy, what does that look like? And where is it in your body? Where is it presenting itself? So, is your heart beating really fast? Is it that your palms start sweating? Are you just really, really almost shaking? Maybe you start stammering. So all the things the ways that it's affecting you, we go through those. And then when we've looked at that, when we've kind of discovered what your situation is now, then what's point B is where you want to get to. So, okay, so this is what you're like now. What do you want to be like? And that the shy person might say, well, I want to be able to go into a social gathering and not be frightened out of my life. I want to go in thinking, right, I am going to enjoy this. I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to talk to them. I'm not going to have these anxious moments, not going to have palpitations. So how do I get there? And then the in-between point is what's standing in the way? Why aren't you at point B? So what's stopping you? So yes, you were having all these feelings and you're shy, but where did that come from? So that's the uncovering bit as to why you're feeling like that in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Well, my guest today has been Sue Reid. She's an author and a coach, and she's the author of the book Building Confidence. How to say that again? How to what
I
with
just try.
shyness? As how to thrive as a
Yeah.
shy person, and we've been talking about aspects of shyness, especially with regards to the fact that most people who have been geniuses or registered as geniuses have been, like you said, either introverted or very shy people. And we're going to come back in the next session, and we're going to ask her questions about her book and about her life as a coach. So uh, don't go anywhere. I am sure Sue is eager to answer some of the questions that uh, some of you have sent me. Hold on.
Vantage Point with Pastor Henry and Sue Reid will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Educative, enlightening, entertaining, refreshing, and always spiritually uplifting. Welcome back to Vantage Point with Pastor.
Welcome back. My name is Henry, and I have one and only amazing Sue Reid today. We've been talking about all aspects of shyness, and Sue is an author. She has authored a book. Um, drawing blank about this book, Building Confidence: How to Thrive as a Shy Person. And we've talked a lot about her book, about being, most times some people who are shy can turn out to be genius. And there was this question that I just posed about why would you want to lose your shyness if it is the key that has made you, that can make you a genius? If in your garage you can build the next spaceship, or figure out the next, internet, no, next great, what a scientific discovery. Why would you want to lose your shyness? And she gave us the answers she gave us, about, well, maybe you would want to, if that's a fact. And but again too, there are joys of losing shyness. There are things that you can do in life if you're not shy, which is interact with people, which is, ultimately, you know the first phase of your life as a genius that is shy is to hide in your room or hide in life and create the things you create. But the next phase of your life, is to come out. And in this episode, this session, we're going to talk a little bit about, what it is to come out, to reap the benefit of whatever you have done in life, the joy of interacting with people. And again, to, on a sad note, it's been said that most geniuses don't live past, a certain, they don't live like everybody, so is there anything to it? Is there anything to the fact that, staying alone and locking yourself up, reclusing, and introversion and shyness robs you of a few years of life? I don't know whether that's true. So we're going to ask Sue. I think what we're going to do is we're going to say, this is a new program. We're going to title it Ask Sue. Doesn't that sound good? It feels like a dating dating something. So let's ask Sue. What do you say about that, Sue?
It sounds like one of those, newspaper where you write in
Newspaper
with
pages
your
ask you.
problems. So tell me your problems.
What do you say about that? About the latter part of life, and the fact that most geniuses don't live to be very old. They always got to get into a sickness or something. And I don't know if there's a science to it, with regards to, how reclusion and introversion ultimately affect health.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I mean, I think it's just strange how the mind works. I mean, your body mind connection is it is very strong. So if you've got problems in your mind, they'll be reflected in your body as well.
Mm,
So a lot of geniuses, although they are genius, they, like you say, they do spend a lot of time on their own. They are quite reclusive, and
mm,
that can lead to a very lonely life. And that may not be the life that they wanted, but because of the genius in them, they've got this passion project that they're working on, and I imagine, I've never been a genius, so I don't know how they
believe
think, but
so. Most geniuses don't recognize themselves, so
that's right.
you're in good company.
But I imagine they'll be obsessed on whatever they're working on,
Mm,
and they'll just keep going and keep going and keep going, and locking themselves away and not really living, a good life. So that's probably, I mean, that probably builds up a lot of stress, and that stress then would make you suffer in your body, so you become ill. They also say that a true genius is on the edge of madness, so there's only a thin line between complete insanity and being a genius. So it's probably not conducive to a good way of living at the end of the day. It'd be great to be a genius, and invent things, and invent something that nobody else has ever thought of. But
mm.
on the flip side of that, the actual doing of it would probably send you mad. And like you say, you don't live to be an old happy person either, in most cases.
Wow. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your book.
Hmm.
Um, the cover of your book, on the word building, you have like people doing some construction or something like that. And what it happened to one of our listeners was, um, some is like something he has to do, to build, like building blocks or something like that. Um, would you give people, um, apart from building confidence, what would you talk to people about just the strength to build? We're not talking about confidence
Mm.
specifically now, because part of the problem is just the strength, the guts, the boldness, the effort that it takes to just build, to and building. When you say building, actually that's a question I should ask you then. What are steps in building? What do you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, the reason I called it building confidence was the reason I used building was because with confidence is a skill. So with any skill, you're building. And so I thought, well, the metaphor for building a house fits in nicely with building anything, building any skill. So you always start with the foundation. Well, you start first of all by, if you're building a house, you start by clearing the land. So if you're talking about confidence, that is clearing out the things that are stopping you, any limiting beliefs. But if you're talking about a skill, then that could be clearing out, again, limiting beliefs. For example, I want to build a new career for myself. Then I would start off the foundation. I would start off the clearing the land bit would be, okay, so what is stopped me? Why aren't I in that career right now? Is it because I can't leave my current job because of security? Because I need to pay my bills? Is it because I don't know enough? So what is it? So you clear out the land. And then the way I was looking at it is you then start building your foundation. So the house has to stand on something strong. So with building any skill, and that foundation would be, okay, what am I going to do? What's a strong foundation? Do I believe that I can do this? Do I believe that I can put in enough effort to get this skill? Have I got the time to devote to it? Am I committed to devoting to it? So you're setting that foundation. And then when you move to the next level, you're starting to build. So, okay, what do I need to learn? What resources do I need? Do I need to, get a new computer? Do I need to get books? Do I need to, what is it that I need? Do I need to do a course? And then from there, you keep building until you get to the level where you feel quite competent. And then from there, so from the point you would move into your house, you then have the maintenance. So whatever skill you've learned, you need to keep topping that up because things change. So, if you've changed your career, then there'll be new things that you need to learn to go with the career. If you're writing a book, whatever you've written might change in the future. So I might have written things that don't apply anymore. So I might need to update it. So it's just doing it all step by step. So that's why I called it building, because you're doing it level by level.
So what would you say are necessary first steps for anybody over building confidence? Necessary first steps.
Necessary first steps would be to trust yourself, to have that belief in yourself that you can do this.
How do you get to that? How do you get to that? That's probably what I would ask. How do you get to where you trust yourself?
So that's a mindset. You need to have a growth mindset to learn anything. If you've got a fixed mindset, you say things like, I can't do this. I haven't got enough time. I haven't got enough money. I'm not very bright. I haven't learned anything for a long time. So therefore I can't learn now. So your first point is to get, and this again is clearing the land. It's getting rid of all that and saying, well, actually I can, because whatever you want to do in life, if some other human has already done it, then that means it can be done. And if it can be done by one person, it can be done by another person. And why wouldn't that person be you? So you need, self-belief comes from loving yourself, believing in yourself, thinking about all the things you've done in your life, all the things you've achieved, asking people, what am I good at? What do you think of me learning this? Do you think I could do it? Asking people that, you really trust their opinion. I just really taken it from there. Just, I think everything starts with self-love, believing in yourself and loving yourself the way you are right at this point. So even if you think, right, well, I've got no confidence at the moment, or I've got very low confidence and I need to build it up, then just believe, accept that, okay, this is where I am. This is where I am now. This is me, but I can change. I can move forward from here.
Wow. There were two questions one person in particular sent to us about differentiating between shyness and low self-esteem on one hand, and differentiating between shyness and introversy. Um, could you do that for us?
Yeah. So start with the shyness and the introversy. So if you're shy, like we've said, you can find it difficult to cope with situations where you're in a place that you're not used to. So new situations, meeting new people, you're worried about being judged, being rejected. So it's very external. So somebody could look at you and know that you're shy because maybe you're blushing, maybe you're looking down, you're not holding eye contact, maybe you're standing on your own, maybe you're not conversing very well, you're not speaking up. So they can actually see that you're shy. When you're an introvert, you tend to like to be on your own. So it's not that you're frightened to meet new people. You're quite happy to meet new people, but you don't really want to. You'd rather be on your own. Or you like to meet people, but you like to then have time on your own. So introvert and extrovert, it's all about how you recharge your energy. So an introvert recharges their energy by going and being on their own, so they can mix with other people, but at some point they're going to run out of energy and they need to go and recharge. They need to spend time on their own. An extrovert, on the other hand, likes to be with people. They want to be around people because that helps them to recharge. They pick up the excitement, the dopamine from being with other people, and that then boosts their energy. So that's the difference between shyness and introversion. And of course, you could be shy and introverted. You could be shy and extroverted. So the other one was self-esteem then. So self-esteem, whereas you can look at a shy person and see that they're shy, you can't necessarily look at somebody with low self-esteem and see that they've got low self-esteem, because it's how they feel about themselves inside. It's how they see themselves in the world. So it's not so much that, okay, if I meet somebody, I'm going to be scared that they'll reject me. If I'm in a new situation, I'll be scared that I won't know what I'm doing and I won't know what to say and people will laugh at me. With self-esteem, it's that, why would anybody want to invite me to this party anyway? Because who would want to talk to me? Why would people not judge me? I'm nothing. That's low self-esteem, where you don't value yourself and you focus on your weaknesses and forget your strengths. You don't think about the talents and gifts you've got inside you. You think about all the things that are wrong with you. And the other thing you do with low self-esteem is you compare yourself to other people, and you basically compare yourself really unfairly. Like, you might be comparing yourself with somebody half your age and thinking, look at them, I can't possibly be like them. Well, no, you can't, because you're not them. So that's low self-esteem. So it is different to being shy. Most shy people will have a low self-esteem, but not necessarily.
In my book, there is I'm exposing the Song of Solomon, and in the story of the Song of Solomon, there is the woman she marries that writes some of the things in the Song of Solomon is a very shy woman. She is so shy for several reasons, and one of it is that um, her father chose her to be the one that would go out to the fields and feed the flock. And usually, sometimes that can be the choice job. Sometimes that can be the odd job. So that's the job you give somebody who, to go do in the background, and they suffer. They are out in the sun. They get so when Solomon shows up ready to marry her. Solomon is already married to maybe about 62 others then, um, 61 others, I beg your pardon. And she steps into the court of the king and she sees all the pretty ladies that Solomon had married. There's a chapter in chapter 4 that talks about this, but I had to mention it in verse 4 of chapter 1 because that's how there was a gradual leading up to it. And so she looks at everybody and she says, and she goes into the reasons why she is who she is. And she says, look, hey, I'm looking at all of you. You guys are pretty. You have your makeup, you have everything, and looking at me, I'm going to be the darkest in complexion of all of you. And she begins to give the reason why her skin is dark in complexion, because she's been out in the sun tending the flock and stuff like that. Um, so she makes that excuse for her skin complexion, and then exhibits a lot of shyness. She says, I'm not worthy to sit among you, you beautiful princesses, but don't look down on me and stuff like that. But later on, um, um, she begins to exhibit so much wisdom. And so I'm saying this for a reason you'll see soon. She begins to exhibit so much wisdom. She understood the strength of certain wood in building. She understood the behavior of animals and translated it to human behavior. She understood the behavior of children and translated it, translate not translate. She understood the behavior of children because she had tended the flock, and she became sort of a better wife, a better cook than most of them because of the things she had experienced. And so uh, sometimes to overcome shyness is to begin to look at the positive side of where you have come to in life. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's because when you first started saying about her going out to tend the flock and then coming back and seeing the 61 beautiful women, and the thought that came into my head then is, well, she's probably the only one of the 62 of them that knows how to tend a flock. A skill. Okay, they might be pretty and have lovely things, but she's got the skill. And yeah, when you're shy, this is the sort of thing you have to think about. You have to think of, well, what is it that I am good at? And that's, what can I do? And don't, like I said, don't compare yourself to other people. I mean, okay, those women were pretty, but were they pretty because they'd been bought nice dresses? They'd had been able to have their hair done. They hadn't been out in the sun. So that doesn't mean they're beautiful inside. It doesn't mean that they know any more than, Solomon's wife, 62nd wife knew, the new wife. It just means that they were in a different circumstance. And so being shy or not being shy isn't really anything to do with it when you think about it. But we put that upon ourselves. We say, well, we're shy, so therefore we're not worthy. And this is by believing in yourself.
Yeah. Sadly, I think the internet, social media kind of places competition, and all of everybody else's accomplishment right in front of you. So you don't have to go around seeing what everybody else is doing. You just sit in your house and look at what everybody else is doing and always compare yourself. That's I'm going to be in your podcast one of these days. That's actually some of the things I'm going to talk about. If you want to overcome shyness, you need to overcome where you're competing with others. And so, part of it is the fact that most times when you look at what others are doing on TikTok, you you compare yourself to them and say, oh, I can't do that. Oh, she does that more than me, or he does that better than I do. And the scriptures actually does have some information, some teaching on how you can break away from um, those negative aspect of comparing to positive aspects of comparing, how you can highlight what your own gifts are, how you can begin to look at other people who are doing better than you, and the three things you can do. The Bible says them, the three things you can do that will switch your attention from he's better than me or she's better than me to, wow, I can do that too. Or yeah, if I put in a little bit of that, so you can learn from somebody to make yourself better. Or you can say, yeah, I can do that too, and you begin to do that, building yourself. But I wanted to ask you, what role does in modern society, what role does social media play in shyness, positive or negative?
It depends how you use it, but on the whole, it seems to be negative, especially with people with low self-confidence, because like you say, they look at other people. But the thing to remember with social media is whatever somebody's weakness is, that's not what they're going to put on social media, is it? They're going to put their best parts.
Yes.
Whereas you're looking at it and thinking of your worst parts, and they're showing you their best parts. But if you met them in real life, that's not what their life would look like. A young girl that I know, she, a few years back when she was about 16, she suffered from anorexia. So where you believe that you're putting on weight when you're not. And so you basically starve yourself. You don't eat. She was missing out on meals and only eating like tiny bits of food in the belief that she needed to lose weight. And she certainly didn't, because she'd already lost a lot of weight. But it turned out she'd got on her phone, she'd got lots and lots of pictures of these models who were super skinny, obviously very attractive, and thinking, this is what I want to look at like, that, these are the people that I want to be like, and I'm not like them, so therefore I need to change. But what she needed to realize was, A, these women were probably photoshopped anyway. It probably isn't what they look like in real life. And B, they were made up. They were in front of cameras that would have filters on to make them look at their absolute best. Whereas she was looking in a mirror and seeing herself as she is in like everyday life. Whereas if she looked at those ladies in everyday life, they probably wouldn't have looked much different to her. In fact, in most cases, they would have looked like they had more weight than she did, because she was far too skinny. So that is a big problem. And I think that is a problem with a lot of young girls, comparing themselves to these amazing people that you see on social media, who probably aren't as amazing as you think they are.
Yeah. Say that again. So it's possible that people, we look at them and that 30-second video, 160-second video takes like 5 hours behind the scene, to get ready, a lot of makeup, a lot of takes.
Yeah. And also when you look at these, successful superstar people, influencers, musicians, actresses, models, you're seeing people that have spent years and years and years trying to get where they are, going through their own personal struggles, and you're seeing them where they've become successful. So like what you said, the way you need to look at it is to think in a positive way. And this is where social media can help, is you can say, right, I'm looking at that person, I can see where they've got to. What I want to know is, where did they start and how did they get there? And then I can see where I am on their journey, and then I can work up from there. That's the way to do it, not to compare yourself down here, if you like, with them up there, but to think, right, this is where I am, this is where they are, how do I get to where they are? And again, I know somebody else who he really did deep dives into people he admired. So I don't know, Steve Jobs, Kobe Bryant, like different people that he really did a deep dive into how they lived their life and where they came from, how they got to where they got to. And then he could think, right, well, what steps do I want to copy? What can I do to get to where they are. And it's a much healthier way of looking at it. So it's kind of using them as a mentor rather than as somebody to compare yourself with.
Wow. So forgive me, I'm going to ask you that. I know we're running out of time, but how do you switch your mind from when you're looking at people? How do you switch your mind from comparing yourself to them to let these people mentor me?
So if you struggle with it, you need to perhaps have a coach help you, or somebody, a trusted somebody to help you. But the way to do it would be, you need to change your mindset. You need to not think of comparing yourself with them, but how can I be like them? So start thinking of what your strengths are, and also start thinking about what your weaknesses are, but not beating yourself up about it, but just thinking, I'm going to strengthen my strengths and I'm going to strengthen my weaknesses. And I'm going to build on that. And I'm going to see what this person did and how they built their strengths and their weaknesses. And then I'm going to find a way to do mine. So you're looking at it more as a project or a challenge than a problem. You haven't got a problem anymore. You've got a project that you're going to work on. And when you've got a project, going back to building a house, you do it step by step. You write down or you make a note of all the steps you're going to follow to get to the finished article. And you can do that with building your confidence, with building any skill. Like, where am I now? Where am I starting from? I'm not going to beat myself up about it. This is where I am. This is what my strengths are. This is what my weaknesses are. But this is what I need to do. And this is the steps I'm going to take to get there. And that's what a life coach will help you with. That's probably what you do, Henry. I imagine that you help people step by step to build up to where they want to get to. So just using somebody that you trust to help you build the steps, and then just following them, and having somebody to keep you accountable as well is a good idea. So that again could be the person that helped you with the steps, or it could be trusted other, a partner, somebody that will hold you accountable, not criticize you, but just say, did you do the action you said you were going to do? Okay, you didn't. Why didn't you? What are you going to do then to put that right? And yes, you did do that action. Brilliant. Well done. What's next? And just to keep you going.
We'll be right back.
Vantage Point with Pastor Henry and Sue Reid will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
They say there is a pandemic of loneliness in 2022. It is the loneliest year on the record. Almost 70% of single and 49% of married people feel some form of loneliness. Christmas Day, Valentine's, wedding anniversaries, and children's birthday celebrations are reported to be some of the days when people feel most alone. For obvious reasons. In 2022, the human population hit 8 billion. But never has there been any time when both men and women had the most problem finding love or finding life partners. Introducing The Heart of a True Lover by Henry and Wainwright. In this book, Henry exposes deep scriptural meanings and spiritual significance of the Bible, and reveals the answers it holds to the questions that humanity is asking. Questions like, why am I still single? How do I find my soulmate? Why do I keep attracting the wrong kind of people? Did I marry the right or wrong person? How do I overcome my fear of rejection? How can I get people to love me? How do I handle vulnerability? The Heart of a True Lover is a must-read. Grab your copies today on Amazon, Apple Books, Lulu, Google Books, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, Kobo, or head over to www.theheartofatruelover.com.
My guest this hour has been Sue Reid, the amazing Sue Reid. I already see how many people are going to be very interested in some of the things we're talking about. And I don't know, we're going to see if she will take some clients from US. You know, there's Zoom now, so she can talk to anybody. You don't have to be in person. But I dare some of you, you can fly out to UK, you know, get her address and fly out and go and get some care in the UK. Just take note, it's raining a lot right now. So, but I already see a lot of things that a lot of you are going to respond to and want to get answers from. And a lot of you are also men who have been hiding the fact that you're dealing with self-esteem, shyness and stuff like that. And some of the answers she has given are answers that will intrigue you and want you to set out on a journey of self-discovery and building your confidence. So we're going to close this session or close this episode by asking Sue some funny questions about her book. And because of time, we're just going to do three of them. And we'll look forward to having Sue over again. We'll work out something and bring her over. Maybe we'll talk other things apart from building confidence. We'll ask her questions about gardening. That's a good one. Or we'll do Ask Sue, you know. Could be, we'll say Sue is a genius. She will answer any question. Sue, where do apples grow best? Or we'll ask her relationship or marriage questions or finance questions. Yes. How can I become a millionaire in 5 months? Something like that. Ask Sue anything and anything. Wow. We're getting Sue in trouble. Yeah. But let's bring Sue back and Sue, we're going to play that quick game again.
Okay.
Vantage point quiz, and you have 25 to 40 to pick from, and we're going to ask you some whatever questions correspond to your number. So go.
From 25 to 40.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 30.
30. Wow. If you could make any portion of your book a song, what would it be? And you're supposed to sing it.
Oh no, I've just turned to this one page. So it says, I'll sing it then. I was born shy and an introvert. Being this way made me more sensitive. Therefore,
Oh, wow.
to heart. How's that?
I never thought you would sing. I'll be like, no, you're not singing. No, you're not singing. Hey, come on. Somebody should get us like a clapping audio. That was really good. That was good. I was like, wow, that's good. I never thought you, I thought you would be like, no, Henry, I'm not singing. No, I'm not singing. So do you love singing?
I sing to my grandson, so I think I never used to. I know because I can't sing, but I sing to my grandson to make him laugh.
Okay. But that was good. That was really good. That was, you didn't shy away from it. Next one.
Oh yeah, 32.
32. Okay. What's left in your bucket list and how does it affect what you say in your book?
Well, the main thing in my bucket list that I've always wanted is to see the Northern Lights.
Ooh.
I've been to Norway, but they didn't come out for me. I didn't see them. So I've got to go at the right time of year. So how would that fit into my book? I think just being confident enough to follow your dreams, and don't give up until you get there.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice. I want to see the Northern Lights too. It's in my, I wouldn't say bucket list, but I want to do it. I would love to. I've not had the time to go camp out for 3 4 days. You have to wait. You don't have, if you rush it, if you go 1 2 days, you may not see it, but
Uh,
and then it's always very cold, right?
I think if you go to Norway to see it, or in Scandinavia, you've got to go at the times when there's no sun during the day. So you basically go on holiday and it's night
Mm.
all the time, and you think, was that a good holiday? Just to see.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Next one.
Okay, let's go for 42 then.
42. Would you read us a chapter of your, not a chapter, a paragraph of your book, and sub this thing, make it an impactful paragraph?
Okay. So shall I just read the first paragraph I turned to?
No, just look for something you want to leave us with, a very powerful paragraph, because you're making a big impression now. This is one paragraph of your book and you're looking to make an impression.
Okay, right. In fact, maybe I'll go towards the end then. This, I guess, what was it? Right. So I guess this is quite relevant. Being of service. The best way to find, this is a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So I've written, as shy people, we often struggle to ask for things. Back at school, I remember agonizing over asking one of the popular girls in the class if I could borrow her eraser. Eventually, I plucked up the courage. Now, I would love to tell you that she said yes and that all my agonizing was for nothing. But initially, she refused, and she only relented after noticing I was on the verge of tears. She laughed, threw the eraser at me, and said, "There you go, crybaby." It's the little things that get to us. I think the main lesson I learned here was to always carry everything I may need. And this is possibly why I'm so organized now. And then I put, so thank you, member of the cool gang.
Wow, that was good. That was really good. We have time for one more.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go for 38 then.
Ooh, 38.
Oh, should I change that number?
Yeah, I'm looking at you. Yeah, it's well, I think it's, yeah, let's go for it. If your
Okay.
book will be turned into a movie, give us 5 information about it. Give us a title, give us who would play you, who would play any major role of your stories in the movie. What would be a popular line? Let's do those four. The fifth one is going to be tough. If you don't remember who would play you, who would play a major role, give us a title. What would be a popular line
I
if it
think,
was a movie?
yeah, I think I would like to be played by Meryl Streep. I like Meryl Streep. What would the title be? My Journey to Happiness, maybe? Nah, that's a bit, no, not that one.
That feels like a bit too genius to be a movie.
Yeah, I think, let's say, Finding Myself. Finding Myself. Let's go with that. Finding
Ooh,
Myself,
that's a
starring
good
Meryl
one. That's
Streep.
a good one.
And if we say the baddie, so that's my ex-husband, we'll have the baddie as, I don't know, Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro, we'll go with him. And what was the fourth one? Oh, the line. The line.
The popular line, yeah.
I don't know, popular line. I would say, I I'm worth more than this. I'm worth more than this. I don't know. I'm worth it.
Wow.
Because I'm worth it. There you go. Because I'm worth it.
Because I'm worth it. Wow. Wow.
It doesn't sound
Wow.
like a very good film to me, but
No, that sounds like a really, really good movie. Really good movie. Just the two stars themselves, anybody will go see. You picked good stars, and then
yeah,
secondly, the good line. Even the title, Finding Myself.
yeah, that'll do.
That's a very good title for a book or for a movie. Actually, that's a very, very good one. And then because I'm worth it. Wow. You came up with really, really good stuff, really good ones. Because I'm worth it. That should be a big, big line, and that should be something shy people tell themselves constantly, because I'm worth it, because I'm worth it, because
Yeah,
I'm worth it.
yeah.
Wow. Any last words, Sue?
Yeah, I think I'll go back to that accepting yourself from where you are now. So whatever you think of yourself now, because shyness, low self-esteem, whatever you think your issue is, that's who you are, and you are a lot more than just those words. They're just labels that you're giving yourself. Just look for your true self, which is inside you, and then think, right, this is who I am. What is it that I need to work on now? And just take it from there, because you are perfect just as you are.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much. Let's see your book again, and it's um, Building Confidence, How to Thrive as a Shy Person by Sue Reid. Is that light green or light blue? What are the colors on it?
It's green, green.
Green. Okay, green. You can get it on Amazon. Um, and it's not too expensive. It's really very affordable. Get it on Amazon. And she's a coach. If you want to book sessions with her, she's in the UK. You can do that through Zoom, and or we can
If
take a flight out to. Yeah, what did you say? You were.
anybody did want to book any sessions, I would do it on Zoom, obviously, so you don't have to come to the UK. Don't worry. But yeah, if they're coming from this show, then I will sort out a discount for you.
Oh wow, thank you so much. So I might just take you up on that, and and see, maybe book a few sessions, and talk about. I don't need to build confidence. Maybe I could just build on top of my confidence, and then that would be a very tall building. I find myself to be too confident to a fault. I just step in everywhere, and I'm not afraid of anything. But I don't mind building some more. We'll look into that. But she'll give you a discount if you're coming from this show. You just have to say Vantage Point. I'm coming from Vantage Point, and she'll give you a discount. And thank you so much, Sue, for doing that. We also want to thank you so much for your time, and all the things you've talked to us about. We really enjoyed talking to you.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. We'll talk later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was Sue. I call her the amazing Sue, and that was just 1 hour and a few extra minutes. Almost 1 hour, 20 minutes have just flown by so fast. Um, we get talking, and she just brings it out so easy, and so I've enjoyed everything she said, especially reading us that chapter of her book. That was amazing. And the last question she answered about um, if her book were to become a movie, those titles are things you pay Chat GPT to get for you, but she came out with those things in like 1 minute, and what were they again? A title would be like Finding Myself. Isn't there a movie like Finding Nemo? And then there's Finding Myself. She should trademark that and sell it. That's an amazing title. And then a good catch line is Because I'm Worth It. Is wow. Wow. Is there a Hollywood in UK? She should go, talk to them there. She has ideas for Hollywood in UK. But that was Sue Reid. You see why I call her amazing Sue Reid. She doesn't know she's a genius. Yeah. Which is a sign, like shy people don't know they are geniuses. She doesn't know she's a genius. Just right there. She's like prim and proper, like the queen etiquette, and what's that British accent? Hey, good morning, Henry. I can't make it, but boom, she had Hollywood in her. I'm going to steal those from her. Finding Myself, and Because I'm Worth It. Wow. Well, that has been Sue Reid. Again, I'm rambling because I can't get over just enjoying all the things we talk about with Sue Reid. I hope you come back for the next episode. We're going to splice this and break this up for all of you so you really, really enjoy it. And if you have any questions, I don't think I've told you Sue Reid's website. I'm going to quickly look for it and share it because I want to make sure I want to make sure share that with you. Let's see. Oh my God. Sorry guys, I want to make sure I give you Sue Reid's SueReid'sCoaching.com. SueReid'sCoaching.com. And you can get the book there too, I think, and then you can get them on Amazon. So you can go there and book your sessions. And if you want, you can, for that, fly out to UK. Don't forget it's raining. Take your umbrellas with you and enjoy a good session of talking. Somebody, if you want to vent, if you want to talk, if you want to just pour out your heart, go do that with Sue Reid. Thank you very much again, Sue. God bless you for your time and everything. My name is Henry, and it's been a pleasure doing these. I will see you all next episode. I sign out.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Vantage Point with Pastor Henry. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share it with your family and friends. You can find us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. Download the latest episodes on Saturdays, weekly. I look forward to sharing the next episode with you. As always, stay well, stay healthy, stay happy, stay loved, and stay blessed.